Well, good afternoon. Welcome back to our Food for Thought segment, sports betting top picks and plays. This is the mid-afternoon evening edition for college basketball. So we're going to do the remaining games for college basketball. So I'll give you my top plays, picks, totals, over-unders for the college basketball. All right. So we're going to start off with the 3 p.m. game. This is Colorado at Arizona. Arizona minus 16, total of 150. Right now we are looking at 151.5, and the total is at 14.5. Once again, just in case you all are curious where we're getting the information from, for the live odds and updated odds, it is at oddslogic.com, where you get the latest update for all the lines: NBA, college basketball, NHL hockey, Major League Baseball, golf, tennis, every sport you can think of is oddslogic.com for your latest updated information. To you guys were curious about that. All right, so we're going to do a quick deep dive into this game. Colorado at Arizona. So we'll check this out now. Do a quick deep dive in the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Colorado, Arizona. Let's see. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. Let's see here. Let's bear with me for a moment. We're just getting there. Okay, that's number 24, Arizona, at home against Colorado. First meeting of the season between these two teams. This is a Pac-12 rivalry, conference rivalry. 3-7 last 10 games, Colorado. 3-7 against the spread. 5-4-1 to the over. So Colorado, they have lost 7 straight games. Oof. 7 in a row they lost. And they only covered 1 game out of the 7 as a dog. Now they got to go all the way to Arizona. Arizona 8-2 last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Arizona 4-1 last 5 games. 3-2 to the over. For the over-under for Colorado, they are, didn't look at this one, 3-1-1 to the over. This spot here might be a look-ahead spot because Arizona has, in 2 days, they have to play Iowa State. Iowa State they're playing. Number 3, Iowa State. So this is definitely a look-ahead spot for Arizona. Definitely a look-ahead spot. Again, they've dominated Colorado easily. In the past, they've dominated this game. Yeah, they've dominated these guys in the past. So I get this here. This is a situation. I would. Let me look at this. Let me look at this deeper here. Yeah, I would look at, in my opinion, I would take Colorado plus 14.5. This is a sandwich situational spot here. For Arizona. Remember, like I said, they gotta go and play. Iowa State's coming to town Monday. This is the number 3 ranked team in the country, so they're definitely looking ahead. I like Colorado here to cover the points. I know it's an ugly situation because Colorado's lost 7 straight games. You haven't covered any spreads. But I'm playing Colorado based on the situation. So I like Colorado plus the points. In terms of the total, I lean to the, let's see. I would lean to the over 150.5. I would lean that way. But my stronger play on this game is plus 14.5 Colorado. I like that play. I like that play a lot. Next game we're going to go to New Mexico at UNLV. This is another 3 p.m. start, Eastern Time. New Mexico minus 3.5, total 146.5. Right now we're looking at plus 3. New Mexico. The total is 148.5. Now we're seeing 149s. We saw 149, 149.5. So it's moving up. This game here, a 3 o'clock start. We'll look into this one further. I have a play on this game as well too that I like. I definitely have a play on this game. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely have a play on this game for sure. Let's see here. Definitely have a play on this game. But first we'll do the breakdown. The last 10 games. Just hold on. Definitely gonna do a breakdown on this one. So this one here, last 10 for New Mexico, 9-1. The last 10, 6-3 against the spread, 3-6 to the under. New Mexico's won 2 straight games. This is at home though. They've covered in Wyoming as a 7-point favorite. So basically they are 1-4 to the under. UNLV 6-4 last 10 games, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. UNLV's 2 of 3 last 5 games, and they are 3-2 to the over. This game is going over, but I'm gonna. Let me just look here a little bit. Let me look into this further. Let me look into this one. I gotta see something here. I think I have to do a deep dive in this game. Let's see. UNLV, New Mexico. Definitely do a deep dive in this game for sure. Yeah, in this game here, I'm gonna look at, because the totals is a little bit complicated here. So this game, let me gather everything here. This game here, I'm gonna look at. This is a 3 o'clock game as well. UNLV. Yeah, I'm gonna look at plus 3.5 UNLV in this game. New Mexico, in my opinion, looking at this game from this perspective, yeah, I gotta take UNLV here. First of all, UNLV, they haven't had a quality win on the road as a favorite. I mean, you beat Wyoming. Wyoming's like, anybody could beat Wyoming. Wyoming's one of the weakest teams in the Mountain West. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. They're very weak. So winning by covering as a 7-point favorite in Wyoming, it doesn't really say anything. It doesn't say nothing to me because they're weak. They're a weak team. So it doesn't really count for anything. So with that being said, and now you're 3.5-point favorites, and then all of a sudden the line goes down to 3. In some books, it's going to 3. I mean, you can't even cover in San Jose State. You couldn't even cover. You lost in San Jose State outright, and San Jose State's a better team than Wyoming. You can't cover against Fresno State. You win, but you can't cover against Fresno State. Yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue with me. I got to take UNLV here. UNLV plus 3.5. They're very good at home. They're a very solid team at home. So plus 3.5 UNLV. Nothing on the total. I like UNLV here plus 3.5. I'm going to agree with that. Next game, Georgia at Florida. So minus 10.5 Florida. Total 148.5. Right now the total's at 11. The spread's 11.5, and we're looking at one. Let me just see here. Let me just double check. I'm going to double check this one. Wait for that line to pop up. Get you the proper line. The total's 148.5. That's Georgia at Florida. Georgia at Florida. So we're going to do a breakdown of this game. This one is I believe it's let's see the time of this game. This is a 3:30 game, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time game. So we're going to get to this one. We're going to do the breakdown, the matchup. Okay, so Georgia last 10 games 6-4, and then 4-6 against the spread, 2-8 to the under. So Georgia has lost 3 games in a row. They've lost 2 of those games on the road in Tennessee and in Arkansas. And they were an underdog and did not cover in either game. Lost at home to Auburn as a dog. In those 3 losses, they've gone under the total 3 straight times. So it tells me they're playing some sort of defense, but offensively, they have offensive issues. That's the concern here. And now you got to go on the road against Florida. And Florida's won 2 straight games. They are 8-2 last 10, 7-3 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. So Florida also plays some good D, and they're up tempo. Last 5 games is showing that. 1-4 to the under last 5 games. So you're playing up tempo, but the defense is there. The only way I can look, because I don't want to leave this many points with Florida at home, because remember, Florida has Tennessee next. Florida's playing Tennessee. So again, this is a look ahead spot. This is a look ahead spot for Florida. They're in a sandwich spot. This is basically a sandwich spot because you got to travel to Tennessee next Saturday. So again, they're looking past. To me, they're looking past Georgia. I know they lost 1 game, didn't cover the 11.5 at South Carolina, but I still like Georgia to cover. This is a situational spot. I take Georgia, and I like the under. I like the under in this game. Georgia, Florida. I like the under. Yes, it's 148.5. I like the under. I like the under, and I like Georgia to cover, to stay within the number. I like that a lot for that game. So next game we're going to look at Oregon at Minnesota. This is a 4 p.m. start. Oregon 5.5 point favorites, total 137.5. Right now, if we check, we're going to see that the number has gone to, just bear with me for a moment while we pull up that information. So the number's at 4, currently -4, but the total has gone up. It's 139.5. That's Oregon at Minnesota. So we're going to break this down here. This one here, 4 p.m. start, we're going to break it down. Florida, I'm sorry, not Florida. Oregon at Minnesota, excuse me. Oregon at Minnesota. We'll get, okay, so here we are, number 15, Oregon, on the road at Minnesota. First meeting between these two teams, Oregon, 7-3 last 10 games, 3-7 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Minnesota, 4-6 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 7-3 to the over. So both teams are playing to the over. Last 5 games, however, 3-2 to the over last 5 for Minnesota and Oregon. Same, 3-2 last 5 to the over as well. So a lot of similarities between these two teams. In terms of the spread, it's at 4. The only way to look for me in this game, Oregon at Minnesota, because both teams are playing an over style of basketball. So my play for this game, I'd have to look at let's see. Bear with me for a moment while I look this information up. I do apologize for the delay. We're still waiting here. Yeah, so this game I'm gonna have to look at the over 139.5 Oregon at Minnesota. That's my best bet for that game. Sorry for the delay, but that's my best bet. Oregon at Minnesota, 139.5. I like that. That's my play for that. Drake, Missouri State. Drake 7.5 point favorites. Now this we're looking at in this game. This is Drake and Missouri State. Drake is 8.5 right now. That's the current number, and it's 119.5. This one's dropped significantly. 119.5. And then we're seeing 118s come up. 119.5. I think we saw 118 as well. Yeah, 118.5 at circa. It's moving. It's moving back. Yeah. This game's gonna be a pass. I have no play on this game. Yeah, I've got no play on this game at all. This one's gonna be a pass. Let me just double check something here. Just checking something here with this Drake game. Yeah, an absolute pass. There's nothing here for me in this game. But I'm gonna double check one. Yeah, no game, no play on this one. Pass. This is a low total, 119. Whew. Let me just check one more thing with this game. I might. Let me see something here with this game. This is a 4 o'clock start too. Yeah, let me take a look at this. I gotta see this. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this game. I don't see anything here. Nothing worth playing here. This is a pass, complete pass in this game. I don't see anything here. Next is Duke at Wake Forest. Duke is 10.5 point favorites. Total 134.5. Right now we're seeing 136 in it. Actually, let me just double check. I think we saw 137. The Duke game's at 4:30 this afternoon. We're gonna double check this, folks, and see what's going on. Duke Wake Forest. Let's look at this one here carefully. Yeah, it's 11.5 right now. Total is at hasn't really done much. It still hasn't really done anything. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here. I don't. I'm gonna have to double check this again. I don't see anything here, but I'm gonna double check this again. Oh man, I gotta double check this one again. This one's a little tricky. This line, 11.5. It's at 136, 135, 136. Let me see. Let's see. Maybe look at a Duke first half. They're on the road in Wake Forest. Let me just see something. This game, by the way, is a 4:30 start. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, let me see something. Yeah, oh man. Yeah, this game's a pass. I don't have any play on this game. I'm gonna pass on this one. Duke Wake Forest. The total as well. I don't see anything worthy of the total. Yeah, there's nothing here. This game's a pass. Next game we're gonna look at Baylor, Utah. Baylor -2. Total 142.5. Utah's a home dog. Right now we're looking at 144.5. And it's 2.5 right now. Let's see. So that is Baylor at Utah. So let's see here. So this one here, I'm going to. Let me take a look at this further. This one's stuck on this one too. Baylor, Utah. Boy, I'm not seeing anything here. Let me double check something here with this game. This one's a little bit stuck on this one. Let me look into this further. Let me do a deep dive into this game because I don't really see anything here, but I'll double check. Baylor, Utah. So this game again. This is a 4:30 start. So look into this one further. 4:30 start in this one. Just one moment. Okay, so they did play. They had played already. The first meeting was in Baylor, so we have something to work with here. The total was 153.5. This game was in Baylor. Baylor won 81-56 as an 11-point favorite. So this is the rematch from a month ago. Now they're playing January 25th. So this is a rematch here. Baylor at Utah. So let's look at. We saw the head-to-head. Let's look at the last 10 games. 7-3 Baylor. 3-6 against the spread. 4-5 to the under. 3-2 last 5 games, and 2-3 to the under. That's Baylor. Utah 5-5, 3-7 against the spread. 2-8 to the under. 3-2 last 5 games, and they've gone under 5 straight games. 5 straight games under for Utah, and Baylor is 2-3 to the under. Let's see here. Yeah, so this game here, I know we've noticed here that in the head-to-head, in December 31st, the total is 153. Now it's come down to 143. So it's gone down by 10 points. So this tells me that has gone down by 10 points. Both teams are trending to the under. So therefore, I like the under. Under 143.5, Baylor at Utah. That's the play I'm going to take. I like that. I like that play. I have no play on the side. I'm going to leave the side alone. I like the under 143.5. So you can put me down for that one. I like that one. That is a 4:30 starts. 4:30 p.m. start today. Next game we're going to look at Clemson, Virginia, 5 p.m. Clemson, 8.5-point favorites, total 135.5. Right now we're looking at 9.5. Right now numbers at 9.5. So 9.5, and the total here is down to 134.5. So we're going to look at this game further. Let's see. That's Baylor at Utah. That's sorry about that. I gave you the wrong thing. Sorry. Clemson, Virginia. Yes, we're gonna look at that one. This is a 6 p.m. start. Let's get to that one now. Let's see, Clemson, Virginia. Ranked number 25 in the country, traveling to Virginia. First meeting of the season between these two teams, Clemson 7-3 the last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Virginia Tech 5-5 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. So both teams are playing to the over right now. Clemson has won 4 straight games. 2 games they've, out of the 4 games they've won, they've covered 3 games. They've covered 2 games out of 3 games. Covered at Georgia Tech on the road. This is Clemson. They did not cover. Yeah, just as a favorite they covered, and then as a dog at Pittsburgh they covered. Last game they lost. They won at home against Syracuse, but they didn't cover the 16 points. And then Florida State, they covered the 7.5, but that was at home. And now you're asking him to lay 9.5 in Virginia Tech, at Virginia Tech. And this is a 9.5. Ugh. This is a big one. But Virginia Tech, they haven't. Well, the last game they were a home dog, and they lost it as a home dog to Wake Forest. They haven't been really that good at home. This team, and again, like I said, they're 1-4 to the under. So they struggle. Yeah, 1-4 the under the last 5 games. 1-4 to the under, last 5. Clemson last 5. 2-4, 2-3 to the under. So although they're 6-4 overall to the over in the last 10 games, the last 5 games they've gone under, both teams. So this particular spot, I'm gonna look. Let me see. I'm just going to see. I'm just checking a few things here with this game. This game's a little tricky. I'm going to take Clemson in the first half. Clemson minus 4.5 in the first half. Let me just double check something here. Yeah, I'll take Clemson in the first half. Minus 4.5. I'll look that way. That's my play for that game. I don't know if I'm going to get to the window with this game, but I like Clemson here in the first half. So we'll see if I get to the window or not. I'm not sure, but I would lean that way. First half Clemson. Virginia Tech's been horrible. They have problems scoring. They're just a horrible team. Yeah, they're not my cup of tea. So I lean to them in the first half. Clemson minus the 4.5. Next game for me. Let's look here. And that game, by the way, is a 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. Clemson at 5 p.m. West Virginia, Kansas State. This one opened up as a pick'em, total 132.5. It's now 133.5, and we're seeing -2 across the board. So West Virginia at Kansas State. This one here. So this game here, a 6 p.m. start, 6 o'clock this evening. West Virginia, Kansas State, excuse me. Okay, so head-to-head, West Virginia is a ranked team going into Kansas State. This one's all over the place. West Virginia 7-3 last 10 against other opposition, 6-4 against the spread, 2-8 to the under. They are 2-3 last 5 games, 1-4 to the under. Kansas State 1-9 last 10, 5-5 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Kansas State's lost 6 straight games, but they've covered the last 3 games. They've covered two of them. They've covered on the road, covered at home versus Texas Tech. This is a desperate Kansas State team, very desperate. West Virginia's got Oklahoma State on deck. They got them on the 29th of they got Oklahoma State January 29th in 4 days. I can see this spot here for West Virginia. This could be a letdown spot for West Virginia in terms of covering the points. I look at West Virginia here too. That's another thing on the road. To me, they're not really a road. They're not really a good road. Actually, Kansas State's favorite. Excuse me, Kansas State's favorite in this game. Sorry about that. I'm mixing this up. Sorry. The only way I would lean in this game, I'd lean to the. I would take the under in this game. It's trending towards the under. That's the way I would take this game, under the 133.5. I would have to look that way. Sides or totals? No, I don't see anything there. I take the under 133.5 for that game. Kansas State, West Virginia. The game is in Kansas State. Next game here. Notre Dame at West Virginia. This game here we're going to look at, and this is, by the way, a 6:30 starts. Open up Notre Dame -2, total at West Virginia 126.5. Right now we'll get the updated information with the total. It's trending to the under 126.5 as of right now. In terms of the side, the only way I can look in this game would have to be Notre Dame to win this game, win it outright here. Notre Dame for the win. That's the only way I can look at this game. We'll look into this further. Let me see. We'll dive into this one further. This game again is a 6:30 start. 6:30 start for this game. Let's double check a few things. $6.30. Okay, so -2 Notre Dame. Yeah, it'd have to be money line, or that's it for me. Okay, so they did play. They played last month. They played New Year's Eve at Virginia. So they just played New Year's Eve at Virginia. Virginia was a 13.5 point favorite. And the total is 113.5. This one here, Virginia won 65-53. And Notre Dame covered, but it went over the total of 113. Since then, Notre Dame 4-6 the last 10 games against other opposition, 5-4-1 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. 1-4 last 5. 2-3 to the under. West Virginia last 5, or last 10, 4-6, 6-4 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Last 5 games, 4-1 to the over. So Notre Dame favored. They lost the last game. You're asking them to win at West Virginia. Yeah, so this game here, I'm still going to be on Notre Dame. This is a revenge spot for Notre Dame in West Virginia. So I like Notre Dame here in the points. I think this is a get right spot for Notre Dame. I know they haven't covered on the road and they've been struggling, but I'm going to take them here on a revenge spot. I don't know if I'm going to get to the window on this game, but I'm gonna do this one here. Houston, Kansas. I have one play for this game. We'll go through this one very quickly. I have one play on this game only because the value has been gone now on this game. I'll explain more about that in greater detail. So this one I like. Houston, Kansas, open -1, total 128. Right now it's 1.5. It had gone all the way up to 2.5 before. Then it has dropped down to 1 now, 1.5. Total down to 126.5. I like the under in this game. Simple and plain and simple. Houston's an under team. Their defense carries on the road. Doesn't matter where they go. I like the under here. Under 126.5. I agree with the move. I agree with the move here. The market is correct. Houston, basically, they're a defensive juggernaut that swarms you. They swarm you and swarm you to death and make you work for your shots. And not only that, but their pace of play along with Kansas's pace of play, because these are two under teams. Kansas has gone under how many games in a row? A bunch of games in a row. I think over 10 games or 8 games in a row. And Houston's a defensive team as well that plays at a slow pace. So everything correlates to the under. So I like the under 126.5. That's my bet for that game. That's a lockdown. You can lock that one in. Next game, Florida State at Stanford. This one here is we got the time on this one. This is give me the time. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start. This is 7 p.m. Florida State, Stanford. Stanford -4, total 147. Right now, we are looking at. I'll get to this game quickly. 4.5. It's gone down to 4.5. So Florida State getting some money on this one. A little bit of buyback. Not really seeing much here at all on this one. Just break me for one moment. Okay, yes, so we're looking at the Florida-Stanford game as we were discussing earlier. Let me look at this further. Florida Stanford. Let's see if there's any value in this game here. This is, by the way, a 7 p.m. start, the late evening start. So we're gonna see if there's any sort of value with this game. Public money is on Stanford. I can tell you that because they're favored. But there's not really much line movement here. It's pretty quiet. Nothing much here. Not much line movement on this game at all. Let me look at something here. Let me dig deep into the numbers and see what's going on before I give a good pick here. I mean, I even bet this game. We'll see. Let me look and see this one. Florida Stanford, 7 p.m. You look at the numbers here a little bit more. See if I have anything here for you. Florida Stanford. Let's take a look here. Still 4.5. Hasn't really done anything. No, let's see. I'm going to look at this game here. I'm going to take Florida State in the first half. I know right now, Florida State. Let me look at their history. I'm going to take the first half. Florida State 2.5. The first half of Florida State's 2.5. I'm going to take them here to the 2.5 first half. Let me look deep into this. Because this game hasn't really done much. This is a 7 o'clock start. Let's see. Yeah, it hasn't really done anything really. Yeah, it hasn't really done much this game. It's been pretty. No, not much line movement, so it's a little concerning here. Florida State last 10 games, 6-4 last 10, 6-4 against the spread. They're basically 3-2 last 5 games, and they are 2-3 to the under. Stanford last 10, 6-4, 5-5 against the spread, 6-4 to the over. Stanford's won 2 straight games, and they've gone under 2-3 to the under as well. Florida State, let's look at them. Let's see. So far, they have not lost 2 straight games. They lose 1, win 2, lose 1. I'm looking at their pattern of games. They have not lost 2 straight games. Florida State. So I look for them here to get off to a better start on the road. They've lost 2 road games in a row. They've beaten the Miami Florida Canes. They're like a bad team anyway. They're not a great team. They beat them. Lost to NC State. I know they're struggling on the road. They're bad on the road. But they have not lost 2 straight games. So I'm gonna go as far as the first half. I think they come out strong in the first half at plus 2.5, at least to give themselves hope and a chance to stay within the 4.5 of Stanford. So I'm gonna go with that. I'm taking that angle. Plus 2.5 first half, Florida State. You can mark me down for that. I'm gonna take that. That is a 7 p.m. start. So look for the first half, plus 2.5 Florida State. I look for them to get off to a better start. Their road games have not been great, but at least to stay within the number, I'm going to take that one. Plus 2.5 Florida State first half. Next game here. We're almost finished with the college basketball. A lot of games, but we're almost there. Let's see. Tennessee Auburn. This is the next game coming up here. Tennessee Auburn. This one here, -6 Auburn. Total 141. Right now the line is at 7. -7. At Caesars, total is at 140. This thing has gone up to 140. Tennessee Auburn. Some books have -139, but I believe I'm seeing a 140. Let's look at the current line now. Let's see. Yeah, I have a lot to say about this game. I have a lot to say about this game. Yeah, I like it here. Let me see. Got a big play on this one. I like this one here a lot. This is a 7 o'clock start, I believe. 7 o'clock. Tennessee and Auburn. Yeah, I like this one here. This is the marquee matchup. This is an 8:30. This is actually 8:30 starts. This is one of the primetime games in the evening. Primetime game. Primetime matchup for me. Number 1 against number 6. Matchup wise, let's see. Tennessee last 10 games, 8-2, 4-5-1 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. 3-2 last 5. Last 5 games, 2-3 to the under. Auburn 10-0 last 10. They've won 10 straight games, 5-5 against the spread, 5-5 the over under. Last 10 games for me, 2-3 to the under. So first of all, I like the under in this game. Let's see. I like the under 140.5. And I like Tennessee -7. I love Tennessee here. Now, if you like Tennessee, I'm sorry, I like Auburn, excuse me. My correction, sorry. Auburn -6.5, excuse me. Auburn -6.5, and I like the under. Both teams are playing defense, and both teams are trending the last 5-10 games to the under for the total. So I like the under here. So that definitely correlates. And I like Auburn -6.5. Again, they're the hottest team in basketball. They've won 10 straight games. I don't want to step in front of a hot team. So I'm going to take Auburn to cover the points. I like the under in this game. So you can put me down for that. I like that. That's one of the marquee games. Next game we have Cincinnati at BYU. It's a 10:30 game. Cincinnati on the road at BYU. It's never easy to win in BYU. It's a tough environment. 6.5. Let's see. Let's get the opening number here. This is a 10:30 start. It's another big game. Let's look at this one carefully. So this one here. Let's look at this spot. It's an interesting spot. -7 opening number, total 136.5. Right now we're looking at, if we pull this up, this game here, this game is at 7. No, another 7 across the board. BYU. Total is going down 135. The total. Yeah, it's come down a bit. 135. This is interesting. Let's look at this. Look at this line here. 6.5. Interesting spot. So Cincinnati's going to the one of the toughest venues in college basketball, BYU, Provo, Utah. One of the toughest venues in college basketball to play in, on the road. Let's see. This is a 10:30 start. Look at the 10:30 game. Okay. Well, last year they played at BYU. Cincinnati was a 9-point underdog, and Cincinnati won in Provo last year. That was a year ago. They were a 9-point dog, and they won. The total was at 154, and we're looking at 136. So this is totally different. Well, excuse me. This situation is a little bit different. Oh boy. Last 10 Cincinnati 5-5. Last 10. 3-7 against the spread, 1-9 to the under. So this is a little bit different against other oppositions. 2-3 last 5 games, 1-4 to the under Cincinnati. We're gonna look at BYU now. BYU 6-4 last 10, 6-4 against the spread, 5-5. And they're coming off a 2-game road trip. They're back home for 2. They are 2-3 to the under. Yeah, I like fading teams in these kind of spots. Let me see. It's 135. Huh. BYU. And like I said, I don't like to back teams coming off a road trip. This is a 2-game road trip within the Pac-12 or the Pac-10, whatever you want to call it. They got 2 tough ones. Man, Cincinnati won there last year. It's a revenge spot. Boy, oh boy. The only way I have to look at the under in this game. Under 135.5. Cincinnati struggling to score. That's a problem with Cincinnati. They have problems scoring, but their defense is very good. They play a very, very good defense. I got to say that. Okay, you know, they say defense travels on the road. So I think it travels here to Provo, Utah. But scoring is going to be a problem. That's another thing. So that's why I look at the if their defense is tight, and BYU is playing good defense too. So both of those correlate to the under, in my opinion. Maybe a Cincinnati cover, but I'm not banking on it. I'm looking more at the under. 135.5 under for me in this game. I like that. Let me see if there are any other college basketball games. I think that is it for all the main games we've went through. Nothing else that's appealing to me. Yeah, that's it. No other games that are appealing. Actually, we have. No, that's it. That's all the games for me. That's it. Those are all my picks and plays for college basketball. That's it. Nothing else. Thank you for hanging in there with me with all the picks. I hope you, whatever picks I gave you for college, my leans or takes, that my likes for the games and totals, fade or fall. It's up to you. I just see the plays and picks that I give you is how I feel and what I like. So you can do whatever you want with it. I hope you cash your tickets. Cash your tickets. Good luck to you. Stay true to yourself. Stay blessed. Believe in yourself. Peace. We'll be back and we'll be doing the NBA video for the National Basketball Association. I'll give you some basketball picks for the NBA tonight. Until then, we'll see you tonight. Take care.